All right. My demeanor is probably going to continue to be sour for this episode because of what we just had to talk about, but it's fine. We will manage. We need to talk about Tech Lead Show, the tech leader on Twitter. A thing happened with him recently. He got fired from his job, and gee, I have no idea how that even happened. I guess we'll just have to look at some of the things he said recently, see if maybe that might have contributed to any of that. But before that, as always, let's go ahead and take a look at the fan art section. The first one we have here is from Melody Starflare. They said, it's a start. I would say that you've definitely started out on the right foot. Though, an interesting take on the hammer. It's actually a proper claw hammer. Just wham. Every problem's a nail now. The next one we have is from Forrest. Said, beat Suris time. I will not say the words that came after that because those are the words of cowards. The words of people who cannot be on the correct side of history of the Owo Wars. But still awesome. I like the little slime Suris on the keychain. I do. It's very precious. The next one and the last one we have for today is from Anubian. I present Professor Suris because, well, he teaches things to us in every video. The fact that any of you learn anything from me is scary, and I wish to live in a different reality than this one. But still awesome. As always, thank you all for your fan art submissions. If you want your fan art to be shown in a future episode, the best way to do so is to drop it into the fan art section of the Discord. And with that said, let's get right into the video. Amanda, thank you for redeeming your point. No, you didn't. You just said mostly pain. Never mind. It was Liska Day Babbitt that redeemed 1,000 points for an... You fucking degenerate. Okay. Now. So, but sirs, who else will teach us to never pay out WinZip debts? Aha! It's not WinZip, it's WinRAR that's the reason I'm going to hell. So you couldn't fit it on the canvas. So remember, you're here forever. Yep. Can we compromise with no. No, we can't. Not with that. Axolotls with Treen, thank you for being correct. Oh well. Oh well. So you have put a professor hat? Aw. Alright. So this is a currently unlisted video. I have no idea why he would unlist this video. As of a handful of days ago. But it should probably be noted that if you title your video, Why Women Should Not Code, I have many questions. So you still don't know what WinRAR is? Ah, you are untainted. Your student number 1 pony, thank you for the 10 bits. Catcur says hell is its own heaven. Hell has its own heaven. Catcur says a lot of dumb stuff. A lot. All right. Let's go ahead and take a look here.
As an ex-Google, ex-Facebook tech lead, I get a lot of questions from people asking, how do I be a programmer? That's really the wrong question, and I want to go through one such question today from this totally ridiculous woman. Here's what she says. I'm a
From this totally ridiculous woman. Okay.
26-year-old Brazilian woman. Do you think it's possible to learn to code at age 26? Yeah, sure. It depends what you mean by code. Print, hello world, is code. You've already done it right there, mission accomplished. She goes on, especially for a woman. I mean, we all know in general, women have more difficulty in programming. Well, I would say, number one, maybe women should not code in general, and I'll get to that, but now quick pause. This video is sponsored by myself, Tech Interview
Nope. Absolutely fucking not. When you plug, I plug. This video is not sponsored by your bullshit. It is sponsored by my bullshit. Please consider heading to DDLG Playground if you want to get something that you can pleasure yourself with or cute for your partner to wear. Who knows? Who cares? If you like it, then go over there, use coupon code Suris, and you will get 10% off anything you desire there. If you don't like me and my content, then that's entirely fine. You don't need to pay 10% more just because of that. You can just go and, you know, get a nice plug or a phallus or even a tail and, you know, just go fuck yourself. You can use the coupon code whether you like me or not. I want to save you money. That's my job. Why is this person sending the message also misogynistic? Boy, howdy. I wonder why. Is this the guy that tried to use misogyny to advertise his own tech company? Yes.
Those people skills which you need in coding, right? You need a lot of teamwork and collaboration. And some of the very first programmers were women with really good analytical skills, and they have the benefit of not having their judgment clouded by aggressive testosterone and pride, arrogance, which is so common for programmers. But I would say maybe women, and this is what I told her, have a far more significant and impactful job in being mothers, which is a full-time job in and of itself. Right, so you may have to choose.
Screw pursuing the thing you like. Screw pursuing the thing you want. Screw pursuing something you are passionate for. Just be a breeding machine. Just be a breeding machine. I mean, that's his point, right? Don't type out hello world. Breed. Yeah, breed, don't code Zozo. Thank you very much for the tier 1 subscription. I appreciate it. He shouldn't be allowed in your computers. Yeah, you'd think that. So I have to point out that one of the best programmers for NASA was a woman. Yup. Yup. Homeboy's just like, yeah, no, you're better at it. But yeah, you gotta breed, so this guy would probably say, I should be a mom because I am female envy. You have zero intention of breeding. Well, there you go. This makes me want to spam him with messages of war. So it's here watching Suris instead of writing code like I'm supposed to. Oh my god. But Salem, didn't you like leave your gender in a toilet or something? I'm pretty sure you lost it at some point. I don't know if you're ever going to get that back. Like, I think it's gone. Is that what happens to like anybody who's non-binary of any shade? They go to the bathroom one day and they get up and they're like, I think I forgot something in there. Fuck my gender. Yeah, but you think this guy cares about gender? Said white coat or breed, but you can go to DDLG Playground. I mean, if you go to DDLG Playground, you might be breeding at some point, but let me find all my friends in computer science. I gotta tell them to change careers. No. Cinnamon Mink, it's fine. Just tell them to drop their gender in a toilet. Tell them to leave the gender in the bathroom. They don't need it. They threw my gender in the river and now there's gay frogs in the next town. Oh my god. Said breeding while coding that? It's probably somebody's kink. Come on, there's probably somebody who's like so hyperfixated on coding that it legitimately gets them off. And they have a partner that is just completely on board with that. 110%. So you're still waiting for your gender to come back from the war. Your gender went out to get milk. And it has not returned. Okay, let's continue with this dumb shit.
My gender divorced me.
Your gender never loved you anyway, and it took the kids. They have to code the fuckbot live. I stopped playing Minecraft to tell you we need to code the breeding bot. Oh my god. Anyways, continue.
Do you want to be a mother? That's a full-time job. Or do you want to take on some career? Right? You choose one. So just understand.
My mom chose both. My mom chose both. She did both. I'm just saying you can do both. You can. Like, the first few years are the ones that suck the most. They are the ones where the child is completely dependent on you in every way, shape, or form. But, like, once you get to the point where they can go to school, kindergarten at the very least. You got more time available now. You can go pursue a career. It's difficult, it's hard, but you know what co-parenting is? Something that works. Also, why wouldn't he just accept the fact that, like, a dude could be the stay-at-home one? That would solve that problem right there, wouldn't it? The dude can stay at home, and then he can just take care of the kid, and the woman can have the career. Like, come on, don't you want to just stay at home and wash clothes and cook food? I don't care what gender you are. That sounds way more appealing than going out and having a career sometimes. So yes, single mothers aren't a thing. Apparently not. Apparently not. He because you married a guy who was happier than a pig in a poop sty to be a stay-at-home dad. Hey, there you go.
Understand when you choose a specific type of career that typically does not allow for time off, it's like you can't be coding half time. Typically they want you in the office with your teammates 9 to 5 and maybe even for longer hours, then you may not have time to be child raising on the side. So it's kind of like a woman choosing to become a soldier fighting in Iraq or becoming an astronaut, say. You can certainly choose those career paths, but that's probably going to exclude becoming a mother.
Uh-huh. No woman who's ever worked at NASA or has ever been in the military has ever been a mother. Except that happens. So, Boy, howdy. I feel the bullshit smokestack rising. This man is unironically the stacks player at the commander table. We have to eliminate him first. Did someone tell this man not everybody wants to shit out parasites?
And as controversial as this may be, I think nobody really wants to see a woman become a soldier. Yeah, sure, for the sake of diversity and equality, we'll say that, you know, if you want to become a soldier, then sure, anybody can do it. We're not going to discriminate based on gender, but it's not exactly the thing that a woman was built for physically, right? It's like the...
Wait. Do you think every single thing in the military requires you to have big buff-ass muscles? Yeah, like the chair force doesn't exist. Or the part of the Navy they don't talk about. Come on, dude. Come on. There's more things in the military that you can do. So long as you can pass PT, there's a bunch of stuff you can do in the military that don't involve you having, like, giant hulked out frames. Oh, and by the way, women can have giant hulked out frames too, so long as that, so long as their body is responding well to, you know, certain hormones. They can just fine, but okay. Wait, what's PT? Oh yeah, I forget. Not everybody's been stuck in a military family. So think of PT as like a personal fitness training thing that you have to do if you're in the military. If you fail during PT, if you do not do well in PT, then you lose ability for advancement. You can even get terminated out of the military. You have to stay physically fit enough to run a certain amount of time, do a certain amount of push-ups, sit-ups, etc. It's literally just them trying to make sure that your body is constantly in shape. Constantly available to do whatever they need you to do. As long as you can pass PT, you're fine. Like, as long as you're doing your job and you pass PT, and you survive if you get shipped out, then, you know, you have a long career in the military ahead of you and you'll be golden. And the things they ask you to do in PT will be different based on what branch you're in, the things that they require you to do. But you said you can start your tank without my dick. You were a scrawny-ass high schooler, 130 pounds soaking wet at 5'8", and I was being recruited into the military. If I am military stock, so are 90% of assigned female at births. Yep. Your ex-wife, ex-Navy, is groaning at just the mention of PT. Okay, but he's not accounting for beefy orc GFs. No, he's not. No, he is not. Slimes can have big muscles if they want. Anyway, so they'd section my ass for mental health. I don't want to talk about that. Anyway, let's continue.
The biggest impact a woman can have on the world maybe is to use her natural strengths to raise a child, to give birth to a kid. And you're going to have this...
Best thing you can do as a woman? fuck a man and produce a baby. Sure. I don't agree with that at all. You are aware that, like, our ability to go into space was largely on the back of a woman programmer coding things in punch-out sheets. But okay, I'm sure her biggest impact to our society was not that. It was her ability to imbibe semen. Sure. Said $5 says he's never actually touched a woman. Who knows?
Legacy that's going to extend for multiple generations, hundreds and hundreds of years, compared to becoming a soldier and maybe getting yourself killed within a year.
Don't drive a car, you might get killed in a car accident. Don't drink milk, you might have an allergic reaction. Don't do thing that might get you killed because you want to do it and you think it is a good thing for you career-wise, or good because you have some fancy about serving your country. Who cares? Who cares about any of that? You need to squirt out children.
So in my opinion, a woman saying that she wants to be a programmer is almost like a fish saying that it wants to fly.
But fish can't fly, and women can be programmers. Your analogy's already garbage.
Well, yeah, you can certainly do it, and we're going to encourage you to do that as well for diversity and equality.
Wait, how can a fish fly? Some fish can glide. Yeah, but that's not the same thing as a fish popping out and just being like, haha, look at me. My bones are now hollow, and I will now just create the feathers and the membranes. I will now fly regularly. So the closest he's saying to boobs is using, oh my god, doing calculator boobs?
Equality, inclusion, but it's not particularly your strong point, especially, given...
Aha, coding, not women's strong point. Can you explain why? Can you explain why the only strong point women have is squirt out baby?
A professional career where maybe you start hitting your stride several years in. And then by the time you actually become good at the job and become a technical architect, maybe you're age 30, your time is running out biologically, you need to give birth, you become pregnant, you take 9 months off. And then after that, you want to take another 2 to 3 years off additionally to do nursing for the child and just to raise the kid as best as you possibly can. And the company really probably rather have you prioritize your own family and your child than the company's revenue, the bottom line.
Okay, so you can take maternity leave. What's the problem with that? What's the problem with pursuing your dreams, then taking maternity leave, and then coming back? What's the problem with that? Also, what's saying that the woman couldn't work from home? What's saying that? Oh, nothing? Nothing? Oh, boy.
It's like, money isn't that important.
Tiff says 2 or 3 years. Yes, 2 or 3 years before you can get a child to daycare. Before you can get a child to the point where they can go to a daycare, or they can go to kindergarten, or even get into early elementary school. You've got about 2 or 3 years before you have that. So, like, he's wrong about a lot of stuff, but not about timelines.
Understand that, and yet we see you throwing away your own family for money. That does not make sense.
I mean, sure it does. The family is hypothetical. The family doesn't exist yet. If a woman goes and programs 10 years later, if she doesn't have a family, guess what? She didn't throw anything away because she never had it. This family is purely hypothetical.
And so we've seen multiple stories online of women working in tech trying to freeze their eggs only to later find out they can't unfreeze the eggs properly. Like, many of the eggs become damaged and then the women aren't able to have children when they really wanted to.
Oh boy, mistakes happen. Who cares? Who cares? That's a risk you take. You know the risk. Who cares? This is a giant who cares. So what this is what happens when a misogynist attempts to do misogyny through the lens of he's just really concerned. He really cares. He's just got a lot of feelings, okay? A lot of feelings.
And then many other women working in tech decide to just quit halfway through their career. I've seen this with my own eyes. When I was working at Facebook, a woman pleaded with Zuckerberg to let her keep her job while working part-time remotely. And Zuckerberg said, no, you've got to choose one, mother or career.
Okay, then Zuckerberg was being a dick. How is that a good thing? Oh boy, let's play apologetics for heartless billionaires. Let's do that real quick. I don't give a shit what Mark Zuckerberg thinks. I don't give a shit what somebody who is so divorced from reality and working class struggles are. I don't. I have zero care for the opinion of that kind of person.
And rightly so. Now, there are other...
Not rightly so. That's not a rightly so thing. Dude, I'm so glad you got fired. I normally do not want people to lose their jobs, but if your job was determining the employment rates of particular individuals, which you have said so much on your Twitter, then I'm happy you don't have it. I'm happy that you as an individual no longer have control over other people's careers. Maybe you should code yourself a brain. Work on some really good functioning AI. You need something to think for you because you are clearly not good at it.
Professions, I would say, like, say, dentistry, in which maybe you can do it part-time, right? Like a doctor or something. And those may be more suitable.
Wait, what the fuck? Hold on. You can't code full-time and be a mother, but maybe you could be a doctor. I'm sorry, what? What? How does that make any fucking sense? How does that make any fucking sense? Your job is not so unique and special that it magically has all of these barriers in it that don't just exist in other careers. Everything you described exists for a doctor's office, exists for a dentist's office, exists for all of that. Like, I can learn how to code by going on to a fucking Skillshare web, you know, I can go to like Skillshare. I'm not sponsored, but I could do that. I could learn how to code. I don't want to because I've already fucking done it. I already sat down and learned C++ and JavaScript and HTML and learned how to do cascading style sheets and learned how to use SQL and failed my SQL tests. I didn't learn it well enough. I've already done all that and I've learned I hated it. And I never want to go back to it because I can't stand it. It feels like the most boring, monotonous thing. The only thing I ever got out of coding was how to write an algorithm because it's the same thing you do when building out a syllogism in philosophy. It's the same damn thing. But I hated every second of it. I went in thinking I was going to make video games. I came out realizing I hated every ounce of what I was doing. Hey boy, we got a bunch of other SQL haters in here. Yeah, SQL sucks. Volsnare, thank you very much for giving me your points for an Ada. You fucking degenerate. But I've done all that. I don't want to go do all that, but because I have done it, I have gone and done it. I can tell you, there is nothing unique about it that I could not apply automatically to trying to get a degree to be a doctor. Except for the fact that, I would need a degree to be a doctor, but I don't need one to be a programmer. And I'm not trying to disparage programmers. It's not an easy thing to do. Again, I've been there, done that, learned I hated it. Props to anybody who can. But I refuse to sit here and let somebody go, well, actually, my profession is the superior profession. My profession is the most difficult one in the world. If my profession didn't exist, then you little piss turd, you wouldn't have Fortnite. I'm not here for that. I'm not here for any of that. I'm here for absolutely zero of that bullshit. Okay? Okay.
For people who want to be mothers. Now that said, if you don't want to become a mother, like for example, let's say you're a man, then let's continue with the question. She says,
you don't want to be a mother. Let's say you're a man. Okay, yeah, sure. My options are real Okay, I understand trans men exist and trans men have wombs. Well, sometimes have wombs. I understand that. I understand that's a quick counter argument that a lot of people in my audience will likely point out. But I know in his mind, he's speaking solely about cis people. So I'm going to address him on that front here. As a man, I don't have that many options. But okay.
She doesn't know any programming but has studied math. Then why do you want to become a programmer? Because you heard that programmers make money? What if I told you that programmers don't make money? Because the fact is you have to be in the top 10% of whichever profession you choose in order to actually make money and have a good life out of it.
What? You don't have to be in the top 10%. You just have to be in the field. You might be making less, but this is what happens when you are rich. When you're used to having a high salary. The idea that somebody can be content with a lower salary, it blows your mind. That is literally all bullshit.
There are plenty of poor programmers. If you're in the bottom 10% of programmers, you're pretty much working in a bank doing database entry. So here's the thing. When you look at like a painter, does the painter say, how do I become a painter? I heard a painter makes good money. I want to become a painter. Or does the painter say, I have this idea in my...
Wait, but hold on. Where did they say that programmers make good money? Where in that? Hold on. Where's your thing? Where's your thing you were reading? Where does it say that they make good money? I don't... Did I miss that? Are you putting words in a person's mouth? Are you putting words in a person's mouth?
Possible. You know, does the rock star say, I want to become a rock star? Or does the rock star say, I have this melody in my head and I want to realize this and just push that tune out into the world to...
Oh, no. There are definitely musicians who are there solely for the money. They're there because they are ready to just be completely reamed by a soulless corporation that is going to write their lyrics and their music and just want them to perform. Those people do in fact exist. But let's go ahead and engage in adjacent reality where they don't.
Express my art. And the same goes for programming as well. You don't become a programmer for the sake of becoming one, but rather maybe you have an app idea or website that you want to build, and therefore you need tools to express that. Because here's the critical flaw. Programming is changing so fast that when most people think about learning to code, they're thinking about Web 2.0. They're thinking about how do I put together a full stack website, you know, JavaScript, HTML, PHP, CSS, and they learn how to make their own blog. Great, you know how to make a website when today nowadays everybody's got website builders, no-code solutions, and people are actually into Web3, crypto land, solid.
Yep, crypto. We're in crypto land, everybody. Oh boy, Web 3.0, the future, the blockchain. Meanwhile, let's talk about NFTs and how that entire market crashed. Let's talk about how many fucking coins are just dropping in value. Oh, yeah, no, but it's definitely the future. Definitely. It's changing too fast. Boy, howdy. You know, you can, like, take a couple hours to research things when you have a kid. You know, you've got plenty of ability to do that. Look. I am not going to be a person that says that there are not applications that blockchain technology can solve. I'm sure there are problems that blockchain technology can solve. But as of right now, those problems have not presented themselves in a way that seems like blockchaining, or most of the way that we do cryptocurrency or any of that shit, solves. It doesn't. It's not really a decentralized currency, and you don't want a decentralized currency. It defeats the purpose of having a currency in general. You want stability. You want something backing it, whether it be the fiat nature of legal tender or whether it be, you know, a chunk of gold. Doesn't matter. You want something backing it, not just the amount of people who are currently using it. Because as we've seen with things like multiple different coins on the crypto market, those things are volatile as fuck. The only people who spout the necessity of those things tend to be doing so because they want to increase the value of those things so that their investments pay off. Again, there is probably an application to blockchain tech that will need it. I, as of right now, have not seen that.
Solidity, TypeScript, Uniswap forks, decentralized finance, Web3 crypto. Do you have any interest in that?
The answer is, why should I? I know plenty of people who code for a living, who are programmers, and a lot of them, you know what they think about crypto? That it's a giant fucking bullshit Ponzi scheme, and why the fuck should they care? And yet, they are doing just fine in the industry. But okay. Again, reality adjacent. That's where we are.
No, I don't have interest in crypto. I hate crypto. I don't want to hear about that. I just want to learn how to code. I want to do something real coding. HTML and JavaScript. I want to learn CSS. Okay, great. You can go learn some useless technology that's obsolete by now that nobody's really using, and it's going to get you a low-paying job. Maybe you'll make like $30K per year if you're lucky in a database IT center. Is that what you came to coding for? Because if you're to get a job at, say, Target, maybe you'd actually get a higher salary that way. And so then I continued my response.
Wait, so which is it? Is it only for the money? Because he's given mixed responses here. On the one hand, he has said that you should do this for the love of doing it. Like a rock star, you should do it for the melody, man. But then he dismisses the idea completely of doing something for the sake of it, doing something because you enjoy it, and starts talking only about the money. And yeah, the languages he's talking about are scripting languages, not programming languages. Salem is correct on that one. You want to learn HTML? You want to learn CSS? Squarespace offers a solution to that stuff. Okay, cool. Who cares? But it's still useful to know things like, say, C. The logic of C is used pretty unilaterally. It's useful to know things like Python. There's things that run on Java still. Learning how to program an operating system, Web 3.0 is not going to magically fix that problem. Oh, but I get it. He only sees coding as scripting. Because when he's talking about Web 3.0, he's talking about web applications. He's talking about that. To him, the idea of programming something like a video game, that's all obsolete. Don't worry. In Cryptoland, we'll have a way to make our own Undertale, and it'll have blackjack and hookers. Oh, I'm sorry. Undertale was made in Game Maker Studio, which was also programmed in a programming language. Oh, but let's just go ahead and call it all obsolete. All of it. Because if we keep calling it obsolete, then maybe we'll create a world in which it is, merely because people have abandoned it. But if I can liken this to something that I do enjoy a lot, like a card game, I've learned something from games like Yu-Gi-Oh! And Magic the Gathering. And that is that frequently things that are abandoned and obsolete 20 some odd years ago, people have a tendency to return to those things. And when they return to them, they usually ask the question, why did we ever leave this behind to begin with? It doesn't happen with everything. But a lot of times with programming languages, you can certainly see that happen. There are people who reminisce on older methods of doing things. There are things that are not handled in an automated builder as easily as they can be handled by manually going into the code. But okay. We'll just again be in reality adjacent territory, where none of that matters. And we can just talk about made up things, like Dogecoin. Want to talk about Dogecoin?
There's actually a lot of other areas in these top tier tech companies.
All right, so let's see here. Oh no, this is still his response. Also, Reticall, thank you for the follow.
Including data science, product manager, technical solutions, UI designer. So yes, you can code, but you don't necessarily want to pigeonhole yourself in that. If you have no experience in coding and you don't seem to show much interest in coding at all, except for wanting to be a programmer for programmer's sake. And in fact,
which again, you said is what you should be doing in the first place, unless you're just so bad at articulating your points that you've said something that you didn't mean. Or what was Deltarune made with? I believe that was made with the same engine that Undertale was made with, wasn't it? I mean, Toby made them both.
The funny thing, many senior software engineers don't even code anymore. Well, that's weird. Hey, if you enjoy coding so much, maybe you should not become a senior software engineer because then you wouldn't be able to type up all your little JavaScript Python tutorials anymore. Public static void main string arg system.out.println return 0. This is child's play. This is dumb. Maybe you should be writing design docs instead. That's what senior software engineers do. We write paragraphs of words, essays. So to me, saying you want to be a programmer is kind of like saying you want to be a...
You're so fucking obnoxious. You say people should do it for the love of doing it, and then you disparage people who actually enjoy coding. Oh no, at the very top, we write paragraphs, we write essays, we write design docs. Okay, cool. Well, guess what, genius? What happens with those design docs? A programmer has to take those things and make something tangible out of it still. This is like a king saying that I'm well defended because I'm the king and ignoring the fact that he has to pay his guards. And since you don't become a senior software engineer just without being a junior one first.
Pianist in the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra. And you know, it's only the top 1% of pianists that actually get there.
Who cares? Strive to be the top 1%. Strive to be the best. If you fail, you will at least achieve greatness, if not infamy.
Everybody else, you want to learn piano? Sure, yeah, you can be a pianist. Just go learn a few songs here and there, learn Twinkle Twinkle, you're a pianist right there. But if you want to actually get to the top level, then you have to be in the top 10% or so. You need to really enjoy what you do. You need to put in 8 hours per day into this thing, more like 12 hours per day. Are you already doing that? Because you should be, and if you're not, then maybe you shouldn't be a programmer if you don't have that interest. And so most of us don't just wake up.
Or some people can just do it as a hobby. That's what I'm doing with singing. I'm literally taking lessons every Tuesday so that I can learn how to sing, so that I can learn how to shape my mouth better, so that I can learn how to do something that I've been doing my entire life, but doing it so badly that I didn't want to do it anymore. And I'm breaking out of that by learning how to do it correctly. Do I want to go on and make a giant album filled with all of my own songs? No, probably not. But I want to do it because I like doing it. That's it. That's all it is. That's all it has to be. Salem says, I think what he's doing, he's trying to desaturate the job market of other programmers so he can get hired again. But Salem, when he made this video, he wasn't fired yet. He got fired later. So, I mean, I guess he saw him getting fired, himself getting fired. There's a reason that you're an ex-Facebook lead, right? There's a reason you're an ex-Google lead, right? You're ex these things because you lose your job. We'll get into that later. We'll finish here in a sec.
Up randomly one day and say, hey, you know what? I'm going to join the Philharmonic Orchestra. We actually start playing piano a little bit here and there. We get good at it. We make a few projects here and there. And after a while, we say to ourselves, hey, I'm pretty good at this. I seem to enjoy it. Maybe I can actually make this a career and join the Philharmonic Orchestra. And maybe that's what you should be doing as well, instead of just waking up randomly one day saying you're going to join Google as a software engineer when you've coded 0 in your life. Because again, if all you want to do...
Have you ever heard about, have you ever heard potentially about the idea of doing something because you love it? Have you ever heard potentially about, people who wake up and then decide, I will become a Google software engineer, and then they learn how to be a software engineer, and then they go to work at Google, which was their dream job? You ever thought about that? People do that. I love how one of the recommended videos he has here is, I got fired from Facebook for misogyny. And then you just did the misogyny thing here again. You did it. That thing that you supposedly are fired from jobs for, you're doing it again and wondering why it happened. Ada Lovelace created the concept of programming a computer, but don't worry. Don't worry. Women shouldn't code. It was exclusively women who programmed the first fully electronic switching computers, but, don't worry. Doesn't matter. Let the men do it. They're the ones who are biologically built for programming. Margaret Hamilton was partially responsible for Neil Armstrong making it onto the fucking moon. But no, don't worry. Don't worry. Just let the men do it. It's fine. It's fine. But sometimes stories like this have a happy ending. Know Nothing TV has graced us with some screenshots. Tech Lead says, so when I used to conduct interviews for Google, I rejected all women on the spot and trashed their resumes in front of them. I told them, go have some kids. Don't worry. I'm smarter than you. I know. And then I gave them an NP hard problem and went home. What the fuck? Is this real? Yes. Next. Women shouldn't code. Perhaps be influencers or creators instead. It's their natural strength. Coding is a brutal 24/7 job, mutually exclusive with motherhood. After 9 months of maternity leave, they come back obsolete and outdated. Elon Musk even says birth rate is falling too much. As if Elon Musk should be trusted with anything regarding a woman's body. It is literally just a way for some code monkey to say, breed Simeon. But, okay. Then his video explanation, which we watched together, as friends. And then, dear community, I'm fired. I just received a notice from Facebook that my employment contract has been terminated, effective immediately. Lost my job. Sometimes proving that you are literally one of the lowest of the low scum, literally denying people careers solely because they have a womb. Sometimes you end up just having it come back to bite you in the ass. But he was fired in 2019. So it's not really a happy ending. He was fired before. He was fired from Facebook for misogyny and fired for all that. But when you are a misogynistic piece of garbo, it is generally a good idea to look at you as nothing more than a fleeting phase. Because while you may be able to sit on a keyboard and type a few paragraphs, as you said you did as your job, sometimes, from our end of things, it's better to look at the impact you've actually had on people's lives. And I mean, you said it yourself. You denied people careers solely on the basis of them having wombs. Now, it's funny. If you look at his Twitter now, he has deleted all of his tweets. All of them. I have deleted all my tweets, which I periodically do. I believe tweets should be like stories, lasting 24 hours or just long enough for a productive discussion. Opinions are not engraved in stone, just as how we never stop learning and growing as people. Self-identity is a massive trap, limiting belief that holds you back. What you said 5 years ago or even 5 minutes ago shouldn't constrain you. Always reserve the right to change your mind. The right to grow. Right. We should always be growing. I used to be an Alex Jones loving conservative. I used to be a Christian who wanted to be a theologian. I used to be a genuinely pretty awful person. I mean, I think I'm still a pretty awful person, but marginally better than whatever the fuck I was back then. So when I see stuff like this, I have to ask myself, there's a type of person that deletes all of their stuff frequently. I used to date a person who deleted all of their stuff frequently. And the one time they forgot to delete that stuff was the time I found them cheating on me. Another time that they forgot to delete their stuff was when I found them spreading rumors that weren't true about other people. The times that they didn't delete their stuff were the times they were doing shitty things. So I have to ask myself, if somebody is routinely deleting all of their stuff, what are you hiding from? Because we already know the type of stuff you put out when nobody's watching, or when everybody's watching and you think they're not. Literalis says he won't grow from this. He didn't grow when he was fired from Google. He has proved that he doesn't actually care about changing. True. Said more than once since he has posted Facebook fired me last week and 3 years ago. So he's been fired from Facebook at least twice. Oh, that'd be hilarious if so. Because I know he was fired in 2019, but if he had another job with them and got fired again, yeah, duly deserved. But I want to know what you guys think in the comment section below when this goes over to YouTube. Because, dude just seems like a scumbag to me. No ifs, ands, or buts. That's how it seems to me. But let me know what you think in the comment section below. And as always, everybody, insert end video tagline here.